Hey guys, it's Marcus and Leo from Big Time Super Friends, and this is our review of
Alien Covenant.
From Prometheus. I know I'm in the minority here when I say that I actually like Prometheus.
I like Prometheus too.
I enjoyed Prometheus so much, and I wanted the questions of why things happen the way they are, or the way they did with the engineers and human beings. Mm-hmm. Why did they create these xenomorphs, these this bioweapon? I wanted all those answers given to me, and I didn't get shit.
Oh man, I think we got a lot.
I got nothing.
I think we got a lot.
Well, what did we get? We got nothing.
We got the reveal that basically... Okay, here's how I thought about this a lot. We get revealed that David has been working on the xenomorph prototype. Essentially, he goes from that first... I think it was called... well, I forget what it's called, but the first alien xenomorph we see in Prometheus, okay? That was the first origin of the xenomorph that we now know in the Alien series. But the thing is that he creates these other types of xenomorphs, namely the neomorph, which is the one that they introduced into this movie, and then eventually the xenomorph.
He biologically engineered them, alters
but
and evolves.
Here's the thing. I thought about this, and I said I was going to say it. I think that finally we get the actual story of the origin of the xenomorph. This is the side we get, and I think it does a good job in doing it.
Here's the thing. Leo's right. We do get an origin of the xenomorph. The problem is, it's not a good one. It sucks. It really is not a... I don't want David to be the answer for why these xenomorphs exist the way we know them in Alien.
Here's the thing about that, is that I think it explains the reason why Wayland Industries is so interested in the xenomorph, because they've known about it the whole time.
Well, not really. I mean, Mr. Whalen, like himself, he didn't even know. He's never even seen an engineer. Even seen a xenomorph.
I think it's because of David, like we see in the movie.
Yeah, but I mean, he's dead already. He has no motives to like. There is no Whalen investment.
Okay, he does survive
because David went rogue. Essentially,
he does go rogue, but that's it. That's the thing about him. He's the newest model, and
David's not the newest
model.
No, not in this movie anyway.
He's the first model of his kind.
Of his model.
Right, of his kind.
Right? But he's the first model that has no intellectual
boundaries and
emotional boundaries, right?
Right.
Everyone after that clones or something like Wallace. Walter, thank you. It's kind of like he has a limiter on himself, right? Mm-hmm. But going back to David again, dude, I waited years I wanted to at least see interactions between the engineers and Shaw, because that's what I was invested in with Prometheus. By the end of Prometheus, Shaw's like, I'm gonna go over there and I'm gonna ask him why they do, all this, and I'm like, yeah, you go over there. And then I wait years. Shaw's not even really in the fucking movie. I mean, she's in the
spoiler alert, she is in the movie.
She's in the prologue, right? And then, but she's in like paintings of David's drawings.
She was a test subject for his xenomorph,
which is
for the facehuggers.
But I got nothing.
But that's the thing, okay? If you notice in Prometheus, David has these signs of he doesn't give a shit about the cast of the crew. He really doesn't care about these people. He's progressing the scientific exploration of these things that they're looking at, and so that's what I find interesting, is the evolution of the character of David. His ulterior motives that I think that he had in the first one are increased tenfold in this one.
David's playing God here. That's what he's doing. He has like a God complex. He wants to create his own kind of...
He's obsessed with creation.
He's obsessed with it.
Right.
So much so that he kills Shaw, and he destroys an entire planet just to...
see what happens.
Yeah, just to further push his own agenda. Mm-hmm. as if you will. But the thing is I never wanted Prometheus or Covenant to revolve around David. David is now the central hub of all Alien movies. Yeah. Now canon, David is forever
the father of the xenomorph.
Yeah. And to me, I wanted the engineers to just be the dudes. At least, you know what I wanted to get? At least give me a conversation with an engineer. I want to know what the fuck they have to say.
Remember, they are going to release Awakening,
which is a prequel to Covenant. I know that's confusing to guys because it goes Prometheus, then Covenant, and then Awakening is right in the middle.
And I think that'll do the answering.
But too little, too late. They fucked it up. For me, they fucked it up, Leo. Because if you're gonna do that, no problem. I'm all hands on deck, right? But don't release things like all fucking whack out of order. Like you did a good job with Prometheus. Okay, cool. Now Covenant, 10 years later, cool. Mm-hmm. Let's continue. I think Covenant takes place 20 years, I think, before Alien 1. Mm-hmm. Don't quote me on that, but that's what I just off the top of my head.
Yeah, it's
that's
about 20
what I
years,
feel.
roughly 20, 30.
So why not go like 5 years before Alien? Let's move. I don't want to go back because I already know what David does. I know the end game. I know that he makes the xenomorph. The face huggers and all that. So to me, it defeats the purpose of going back. Just please, I want to go forward. Give me Awakening, but have it be after Covenant, so that way I just know what happened to David. Did he escape? Did he survive? Clearly, we know now that his creations live, right?
Well,
for hundreds of years after the fact.
Yeah.
Right? But it's like, but what happens to David? Now that's the central point, is David.
Well, we'll find out, I guess, in the future, I hope.
But to me, the central point was supposed to be the engineers. In my mind.
I feel like the engineer story was not that important because...
What do you mean?
Because it was answered. They were going to destroy humans the whole time.
Why? You never...
It's
no one knows now.
You know what?
Fuck it. David, just destroyed everything.
Okay, look, so if they tell you that the engineers want to destroy humans because they think humans are disease-ridden and that they... I don't know, they hate how we smell. Would that satisfy you?
You know what?
I don't want to know.
That would be a poor, horrible reason, right? That'd be like the most horrible
think about
reason.
It. What is a drawback of humans? We overthink things. We're critical analyzers. We think with our emotions. We let emotions lead us. We don't necessarily know that about the engineers. They have this godlike.
We don't know technically because we don't know shit about them still.
But because apparently they created us. I mean, I still don't accept that the first planet in Prometheus was Earth. I still don't accept that.
The first planet in Prometheus?
I still don't buy that.
I actually think it was Earth. I think they threw one, like an engineer in exile, and he just killed himself, causing the chain reaction.
But the thing is, it doesn't say Earth.
I know, but I'm just I'm just gonna assume.
I accept it, but in my mind, it's like it could still be some other planet.
So I'm just like, but it goes back to what you were saying. It's like, what if they think that we just smell funny and then they just want to kill us? Would that be? What you're trying to say is?
I don't think there's a good enough reason for them to reveal to us, hey man, they want to kill us because this.
I would have much rather have them go because we wanted to. Rather than them not saying shit.
Well, what about? I mean, I don't mind that.
Let's go back to this is like a fundamental difference between me and Leo in this movie. Now, it wasn't all bad for me though.
Okay.
Because the one thing I really did like is
David essentially fucked up the movie for you.
David fucked it all up because I don't want him to be a central point. I don't want an android to be the central point of all this chaos and BS. I just don't. Now, there were some like great elements to this. Now, one person I thought I would hate was Danny McBride.
Before we get to McBride, I still have some more to say about David.
All right, go ahead.
Because I think that if you take a look at what's his name, If you take a look at an Alien, it's not. Fuck.
You just did the review, motherfucker. What do you mean?
Guys, we had a momentary lapse there, but Ash. Okay, the point is that Ash is the model that essentially makes the decision to kill everybody on the Nostromo. Okay, and clearly David's conversation with Walter. Okay, where Walter says they've made some adjustments where they no longer can create. They just basically follow commands with all these abilities. I think that was a very important plot point because Walter was clearly, I think he had superiorities to David.
As far as like design is concerned?
Yes. Yeah, because he gets basically killed and he comes back.
He can regenerate his skin.
His skin regenerated, yeah. But the thing is that he doesn't have the ability to think on his own. Now, I think the one thing about David is that he's an AI. He's the perfect AI.
You know what I think it was between the difference between David and Walter is that David has this kind of, I mean, just for lack of a better word, David has the free will, and Walter does not.
But that's just it. He's an AI with free will. I mean, what can he do?
But what does he do? He just fuck things up. He just kills and fucks things up.
What's wrong with that?
I'd rather have...
He fucks things up.
I would rather have the engineers fuck things up. I want to have an Independence Day number 3, War on Earth.
I personally really don't have a problem with that. I don't have a problem with the fact that David created the canon xenomorph.
What bothers me is, okay, here. Speaking of David, in the prologue, he says a line that I was expecting and didn't get. He says, "I know of their ways," and that's he said that line specifically in one of the trailers or the prologue, and he's speaking to Shaw or something. Mm-hmm. But he's learned about their civilization.
But I mean, in Prometheus, he knows how to turn on the ship. He communicates with the Prometheus with the engineer.
Well, because he's fast learning. He's a fucking.
But that's just it. That's why he was able to alter the xenomorph because he understood it. He was able to crack the code.
Yeah, I don't want him to. He's just a robot. He's Bender from Futurama with human skin on top.
Well, what if Bender killed everybody and shit?
Well, that's what he did. I don't want to like fixate on this fucking android that ruined things for me. But I will say this.
I mean, look, there's a horror element to that. He killed fucking Shaw, the one person that put him back together, his creator the second time.
So so speaking of Shaw, okay. Now, I was not emotionally invested with Shaw, but I was invested with Shaw.
In the character too, yeah.
And the fact that she's just dead. It's like she didn't even die in a satisfying way, dude. She died because fucking Tin Boy over here killed her because he wanted to fuck around in the little experiments,
which I actually kind of like.
He could have found anyone else. He could have done it to anyone else.
He wiped out the whole.
He's like, I love Shaw, but I killed her. Fuck. Crying and shit with a flute. I mean, fuck. Come on.
You're just gutting this movie, man.
I mean, no. This movie is a good movie, okay? But it's just my hatred.
This is the nitty-gritty.
My hatred for David runs so deep because of this movie.
But that's just it. I love David. I love the fact that...
Well, then call me Walter, bitch.
Walter, bitch? I mean, I love the character. Look, then I think... Well... It's going before Covenant, so it's not necessarily going to tell more about David, I hope. But I think in the subsequent movie that is canon after Covenant, I want to see what David does.
After Covenant?
Yeah,
well, hey, guess what? You're going to have to wait 10 years, because the other one is a prequel to the fucking Covenant.
I'll wait.
That's like another... Oh, man, they fucked this up. They fucked it up. Now, okay, let's move on to another element. Okay, something that was kind of cool in this movie. I did like the fact that it had a more horror feel to it
from the beginning of the movie. The title sequence, when you hear the emergency sounds of the ship in the music. Really, it's like, and then it fades away. It already sets a tone.
I mean, the visuals. Okay, it could be one of your negatives, but for me, it was actually a somewhat of a positive. Now,
I love the scenes in space.
Oh yeah, I was blown away by that, and the landscapes of the planet that they were in. All that looked beautiful. There's only a couple things that I was like, could have been a little bit better, and that's the end xenomorph. I felt was not up to par. He was good. I mean,
he's the first one.
Oh, I mean, we're not talking like Alien 4 here, okay, or Alien 3. We're talking not as good as Alien 1, okay, sure. But still, I felt like they could have just done a little bit better there. As far as his he moved at least well.
Okay, see, here's the thing about the movie is that this is what I didn't like, is the CG in the movie. The first neomorph that they show you. I didn't like how he looked. He looked a little too fake to me, especially when he was attacking the woman inside the lab that was locked off.
Sure.
It just looked too fake.
It did look a little...
It killed it for me. And then some of the xenomorphs' movements looked a little too fake, too. Especially when the door opens and you see it against the sunlight. You can see the outline.
Now, I know that this movie was doing a good job, because when I get kind of sucked into movies, I don't know if you guys are like this, or TV shows or whatnot, I start kind of like interacting with the movie in small ways, like I start nodding my head like, oh man, that's stupid, or I'll make like in my mind I'm thinking that's so stupid, like why are you doing this, like, and I had a couple of those moments that they could be good or bad depending on on your take on it, but for me it was both, because there was times where I'm like, okay, towards the first person that got kind of infected with the virus or whatever,
by the spores,
he got taken into the lab, right, by two female. What was the main woman's her character's name?
I don't know the names of hardly any of the characters, but she's Danny McBride's wife. One of them.
One of them is Danny McBride's wife.
And the other one is the captain, the wife of the captain.
Yeah,
Billy Crudup.
Yeah.
At this point,
so they're taking this guy into the lab, and they do some of the most dumbest things in the world. Like, who rips the shirt from the back?
Well, because the back's bulging out.
Well, how did she know?
She saw it.
Nah, bullshit.
They show it. They show a little cutaway.
She didn't see it until she ripped it open, and then she's like, "Oh fuck!"
Well, she was in the back, and she ripped it open because they wouldn't take the shirt off.
Okay, so she one thing she did was she locked them into the lab, and I thought, good move.
But see, this is after the blood spurts.
Okay, so the blood's, there's
throwing up blood on the
guy's convulsing, he's fucking twitching, moving around, something is clearly coming the fuck out of him, right? And you see a little burst of blood, and it hits her in her face, and I just thought, oh, okay, she's infected, she's done.
Sure.
But she wasn't infected, or she died shortly after that, so we don't know if she was.
Because of the explosion.
And I just thought, do any of these girls know how to handle or the guys for that matter too, do any of them know how to handle a goddamn gun?
The thing is that she was panicking at this point because he already busted out of the laboratory, so she forgot there's flammable tanks, and so she's just firing at
blew herself up.
She did blow herself up, which that's fucked up.
But now the thing is see, I look at that scene, this lab scene, I just think that's so stupid, but then I also realize I also like it because I'm like, well, I'm putting myself in her shoes, right?
Would I do any better?
I mean, this thing is coming out of this dude's back, pops out, and there's this crawling thing with a mouth.
Look, I think it goes to show you the nature of these people's character. They're not really scientists. They're just people that are colonizing the planet, and they have apparently...
Some are scientists.
Sure. They have some sort of mountain climbing abilities. They know how to be rugged in nature, so they're obviously meant to survive the great outdoors, if you will. They're supposed to survive the terrain. So the fact that at this moment in time they're having this sort of emergency situation with quarantine, if you will, they have a quarantine procedure that they have to put in place. They start panicking when they notice there's this fucking alien coming out of the sky. So what are you gonna do now? And she's the other one's getting killed. She's getting eaten. So what the fuck is she gonna do? And then it busts out of the laboratory. So she's panicking. She's broken her foot because the door's slammed on it. And then she goes for the last shotgun, and she's just firing at will. I mean, she can't aim.
I'm surprised she didn't. I'm surprised she didn't.
She's panicking.
I'm surprised she didn't just put the gun at the small little window. I'm like, you can't miss. You cannot miss if you just aim there. He's not going to go through the fucking steel door, right? But no, you fucking drop the gun inside the lab, break your own foot.
Sure, she's got a stormtrooper complex when it comes to firing weapons.
Leo, think about this, okay? I enjoyed that scene, by the way, before I bash this some more. A person drops her own gun in the middle of a conflict, breaks her own foot, blows herself up. She did more damage than the fucking alien. The alien... She beat her own ass, Leo. She beat her own ass.
Okay, look, in her defense, there's a lot of blood on the ground, okay? You're panicking, you slipped.
No, Leo. She beat that ass up.
She slipped, you guys, she slipped, alright? I buy it.
Crying.
Ridley Scott, I buy it, okay? I'm a believer.
I buy it too, sir. Fuck. But don't direct the next one. Don't direct the next one.
Crack her foot and then misfire the weapon.
Jesus Christ. Now, there were some cool moments in here that I just thought, oh, like, the hardcore kind of Alien fans did have a kind of a little bit of a, ooh. The first time you see David's eggs, little incubators.
Hey, check it out. They're completely safe. What are they waiting for? The mother.
Yeah, because those are the same ones that you see in Alien 1. Right. Those are the same design.
Here's a question that raises to me. How did he birth those eggs? Is there a queen on this planet?
Hey, we'll never know because he fucked up the engineers. We don't know shit.
No, but seriously, how did he make these eggs?
That's a good question, man.
How did he get... Because clearly they go from those little jars, mason jars with that liquid, to the egg.
There was a lot of things that they didn't answer.
Okay.
I waited for years. The engineers thing was just a little thing. But you bring up another thing that I was like... You see a lot of cool things, but it raises more questions sometimes. It really does. It's just like, are we ever going to get an answer?
I accept these things about the movie. I really do, personally.
Sure. I'm the type of person that will walk into Fast and the Furious 8 and say, yeah, that can happen. Okay, so So, to me, I do a pretty good job of, like, suspending my disbelief a little bit, okay? Yeah. But when things just show up on the screen and it's just... You just don't know how it got there or how it was made or how the fuck is David walking around with two face huggers in his stomach and regurgitating them without... Like, how... I don't know. I don't know any of those answers.
I don't want to know that. I don't mind that part.
How did he get them in little crystals?
Little gels.
How? I just don't.
Maybe
understand.
He's birthing now face huggers.
Now let's talk characters for a second. My favorite character was Danny McBride.
I really liked that Tennessee character. I think it was cool that at the end of the movie he becomes the captain of the ship. Essentially, he's piloting. He's one of the last two to survive.
Sure. Yeah, and so here's going back to David. I'm going to keep going back to fucking David.
Let's go back to David.
David does the switcheroo. Okay, in this movie. Now
you have to see it coming though.
That's my issue.
The knife.
That's my issue though. It's like they telegraphed it so bad. Anytime two characters are fighting and they're like twins or clones of each other, right? And it cuts away right before someone dies.
Final blow.
You have to automatically assume that motherfucker is David that lived, right? And the thing that bugs me is no one thought to ask or to verify who the hell this android is. Is it David or Walter?
Well, they didn't have time to. The xenomorph was right after him.
Fuck it. Like afterwards, when he's all fucking stapling his chin together or fucking his jaw.
I think there's a difference in their accent.
But Walter he regenerates.
True.
How would they not know that he it's like
I think they bypassed that. They forgot. They just survived the last xenomorph.
I wouldn't have forgotten. I would have been like, bitch, you better heal like Wolverine.
That's an interesting point because I totally forget that too. It caught me by surprise at the end that she I think she caught on when she was doing the staples. That's why in the end she does ask the question, hey, you can help me do that house on the lake, right?
So I did enjoy that because it's like, oh my god, because the look on her face when she realized that it was David, really, it was pretty good. It was like, oh my god, screaming, oh, I'm gonna fucking die. There's gonna be some fucking hugger on my face.
He did take out the oxygen out of her pod, right?
No, she just went into cryo sleep.
But see, that raises another question.
Of course,
is he gonna awaken them? She knows the truth.
I guess we'll have to wait 3 years for the awakening. That's
He's
what it's
probably
called.
gonna shoot him back to back.
But it's...
Look, he might change his idea altogether.
I hope not. No, you fucked it up. Really, you wrote this shit down. You gotta fucking follow through all the way. Fuck it. You already fucked it up in my mind. You fucked it up. You, sir, should not direct
I don't mind
the
it,
next
though.
one.
I don't mind it.
Not direct the next one. Sorry. I mean, Alien was good. Prometheus, bravo. You fucked it up with the Covenant. You fucked it up. I don't know what else to say.
There isn't much to say.
Okay, I'll say some more possible positive.
No, let's keep it. Okay? Let's bury this bitch. Come on. What else?
The thing is I did like that the scene where he's been keeping records. David has been keeping records, like drawings of. Looks like the anatomy of the engineers, and like he looks like he's dissected a couple of bodies. Maybe he knows them so intricately. Yeah. I mean, he's been on this planet for like what 10 years or
10
so.
10 years is what he says. Right?
So, or you know what?
Since the crash.
Yeah, it's been like 10 years. Yeah. So he's had a lot of. I think he's the only organic living being on this planet for like the last 10 years.
I mean, the thing is that he could definitely keep working without having to stop.
Yeah, so I just wish I would have seen a little bit of just give me 5 minutes. 5 minutes of an engineer speaking, disagreeing with Dave, or something. You got to give me something.
Look, you have to remember about Prometheus, okay? That engineer did rip off his fucking head. He had a personal fucking vendetta, which also goes to show that he does feel he wants to take revenge.
Well... All right, well, Leo, if you beat the shit out of me, I'm not going to destroy the planet.
But you don't have the capabilities to.
I'm just saying, this motherfucker beat me up. Fuck this planet Earth. I mean,
well, he wipes the species out.
The other person that did a really good job, actually, and it's a character. I hate his character, but the actor's performance was really good. It's Dr. Manhattan.
Oh, Billy Crudup's character.
Yes, he was so good in this movie. He was... I know he was doing a good job because I was hating his character.
Well, I love the line when he's like, "You better tell me what the hell's going on. I'm gonna fuck up your calm demeanor."
Oh yeah,
I'm gonna seriously fuck up your calm demeanor. Yeah,
yeah.
He's like, right this way, sir.
Yeah, but he does something so stupid. Okay, now I don't know if he's a scientist. Okay, but David walks him down to the dungeon. It looks like a fucking like hell. Okay,
bondage
with
room.
like all these like
the eggs,
and
with the face huggers,
incubators, and with the face huggers exactly. And he's like, "Yeah, go ahead. You're okay. You ain't in trouble here. You're safe or something." And he's like, "Oh, yeah, go ahead, take a look inside." I'm like, "No, like if I touch something and then all of a sudden it's like." And then I see sort of shit moving inside. I'm not gonna be like,
well, but I think the last thing you thought is something's gonna jump out of your face.
Well, because we know
though the history, right?
But it's like this guy just saw him trying to be friends with a xenomorph, right, or whatever the hell that thing was. Yeah. And I'm just like, kill that motherfucker. He's clearly not on your side.
I think he's still trying to get
answers. I'm losing my voice here.
I think he's still trying to get answers at that point.
Why would you trust them?
He's trying to see it all the way through. He's the captain. He has to. Fuck. He's hoping to get the answers he wants from David. To at least to be able to get the fuck off the planet.
Let's go with the rating time.
Okay.
Let's just wrap it up. Good, bad, and your rating.
I give it a B, you guys. I enjoy the story, I enjoy the visuals, but my main problem was really the xenomorphs and the neomorphs. The CG.
That's pretty much it, huh?
Yeah.
But you like the story? You like
I accept the whole David plot. I accept it. I actually like the fact that we get to see the evolution of David, and this is what he did with his ability to be superhuman. Essentially, he doesn't have to rest. He can critically think. I think faster than we can. He can now obviously create. So I like that about the movie.
I'm gonna just go out and straight out say, I liked the movie. Okay, I liked the visual effects. I liked the way it looked. I liked the way it sounded. I know some people didn't like the way it was paced. I didn't mind the pacing. I didn't mind it either. Okay, I liked some of the shower horror scenes
that's a classic one.
It's a classic kind of like setup, right? But I don't mind those kinds of things. Anything alien, I'll eat it up.
Sure.
Whether it's an Alien franchise or just aliens in general, I'll eat it up.
Right.
So the visuals were great. The characters, they were pretty good. Danny McBride, the main female lead, I'm forgetting her name, but Mr. Manhattan also, I keep forgetting
Billy
his name.
Crudup.
They all did a really, really, really good job, right? And the end twist was okay. I'll say it's okay with David taking over the Covenant ship,
sure,
and he's on his way to where they were scheduled to go to, right? Where it's a habitable planet, and I think he's just gonna make an army of like xenomorphs there. I think that has to be his plan.
I feel like what's going to happen is he takes over another vessel of the engineers, and then he sends it to colonize other planets, and it crashes on LV 446.
But for some reason, Leo, David, he made the movie. Like Michael Fassbender,
he definitely
made the movie.
Acted the shit out of that movie.
He was so good in the movie. I liked the character, both Walter and David. But the thing is I don't like their roles in the movie. So that's separate from their performance, right? I like their performance. I just don't like how he was written and his role in the movie.
How he progressed the movie.
And with that alone, okay, I was going to give this a B, solid B. B plus, maybe. But the fact that I just know all this stuff about David now and how it affects me just watching any Alien movie going forward.
Okay.
It forces me to watch it from a different viewpoint. I'm going to give this, I can't believe this. I'm going to give this a D plus.
Fuck.
D plus. That's the lowest grade I've ever given the movie.
Okay.
That's how much that pissed me off. It could have been a B. But bitch, they fucked up.
Damn, dude, that's pretty low.
Plus. But here's the conflict between. I'm still gonna buy the Blu-ray. Blu-ray for me is a B and above. B minus and above. That's a Blu-ray buy. But
it's a T plus, man.
But it's a D plus, but I'm forced because I have all the other Alien movies and Prometheus. Sure. And I'm a completionist, so I have to get it. Fuck, I have to get it. D plus. Anyways, guys, if you like this content, please like, share, subscribe, and we will be back for the remaining reviews of Spider-Man being reviewed by my brother Brian. And we will see you next time. Bye.